Hi, I'm Charles with Anycap. The story begins as we are introduced to Wu. He is 16 years old and a commoner of Faith City. Wu runs from some bullies that are upset that he cheated in a game, but infuriates them more when he taunts them. Wu explains that he likes to make money by deceiving his classmates and enjoys watching them get angry. His taunts are soon ended by the dean, who scolds Wu for gambling on campus again. The dean points out how well Wu does on exams and asks him to stop gambling. Wu infuriates the dean as well, as he explains that he can't stop gambling since he is low on cash. He is given a writing assignment as punishment and states that he will accomplish great things one day. That night, Wu leaves work as he is told to stop coming late and stops to look at the platinum clock. It is at the center of the city and surrounded by elites. Wu's goal is to become one of them, and he is confident he will, regardless of what anyone thinks. Just then, several monsters begin to appear. Wu doesn't notice at all as they call him a villain and instruct each other to eat him. Wu turns to find nothing there but is stunned when a large monster appears. Luckily, someone jumps in to attack the monster and transforms his arm to take out another. This mysterious person knows Wu's name as he explains that he was following him all day, and these monsters will now be attacking him often. He reveals that his name is Supervisor Lien, and Wu is the villain he will be supervising. Wu is confused to hear himself be called a villain, and Lien points out how quickly the monsters return. Lien then gives Wu a multifunction survey meter and explains that it can measure Wu's villain level. There is an upper limit to how many bad things a person can do. Normally, people will stay within the green area, which is safe. Once that limit is exceeded, a person will be in the yellow area of villains. This will attract vile spawn that feed on villains. Lien explains that he knows Wu deceives others often, since the system defines him as a villain. The vile spawn have come to eat him, but the system has also sent Lien, the supervisor, to protect him. Lien's job is to help Wu correct his behavior, but if the meter gets into the red, then nothing can ever help Wu, and Lien will have to take his life immediately. The vile spawn have finally retreated, but Lien gets annoyed when Wu just tries to walk away casually. Lien explains that he needs to correct Wu's behavior, but Wu says that he doesn't need his help, and Lien will have to walk over his dead body if he wants his money. Wu is convinced that Lien wants his money since Lien is just too nice, but he is caught soon after. Luckily for Wu, a pack of wild dogs helps him get away. Afterwards, Wu arrives home to put away some money, as he states that he is one step closer to becoming a zillionaire. Just then, he is attacked, and Wu begs the monster not to take his money. Wu jumps out the window as he forgot that he was on the 6th floor, and Lien watches nearby, happy to see that Wu is learning a valuable lesson. Lien explains that the monster is growing because it gets stronger by absorbing the negative energies of villains. Lien is amazed to see that Wu refuses to drop his money even when running for his life, and Wu explains that money means everything to him. Wu begs for help, but Lien tells him that he doesn't need it. Wu loses his piggy bank, so he asks for help again, but Lien wants him to beg some more and apologize sincerely. Wu gets desperate and agrees to obey Lien in the future in exchange for his help now. Lien agrees to the deal and instantly jumps into action. He explains that it will take longer to defeat them now since they have absorbed a lot of negative energy in the area. These monsters have upgraded a bit, so Lien plans to use a powerful attack, but Wu is concerned about hurting innocent bystanders, so they head somewhere else. Wu then explains his plan to destroy the supporting points in a building so that it will collapse, and eliminate all the vile spawn. Lien then has Wu mark all the supporting points, but explains that the vile spawn are clever, and if they figure out what he is up to, then the plan will fail. Lien causes a lot of damage when taking out the supports, and causes Wu to almost lose his life, but he is told to stop complaining as he must do what Lien says. Wu doesn't respond to Lien when he asks for the next location, and Lien only finds his meter when he searches for Wu. Just then, the building collapses as Lien screams Wu's name. In the distance, a pair of menacing-looking people see the commotion and consider going to see what it is. Back near the building, Wu mocks Lien but is surprised to see that he is okay. Lien is furious though, as he questions if Wu intentionally set him up and explains that the system doesn't allow supervisors to hurt villains, otherwise he would beat him up. Wu then instructs Lien to clean up the mess since the vile spawn are defeated, but Lien points out how Wu is supposed to obey him. Wu states that he wasn't being serious when agreeing to obeying him, and Lien is furious to see that Wu would just lie to him like that. Wu points out that he is a villain after all, and Lien explains that Wu is forcing his hand. Lien summons a small creature and explains the story of Pinocchio. the puppet whose nose will grow longer when he lies. Lien explains that the villains he supervises will be like Pinocchio, but Wu is surprised to see that nothing has happened to his nose. Lien reveals that his curse works much better than the one in the story. His nose won't grow longer, but another part of him will. Wu promises to end Lien's life if he doesn't remove the curse, but this is a lie and Wu prepares for the consequences. Lien then mocks him for being tricked as we see that Wu's hair is what has grown. Lien explains that in order to lift the curse, Wu must be forgiven by all his victims. We then watch as a little girl asks Wu to play with her, and Wu wakes from the creepy dream. He is glad to see that his hair gets short again, but shocked to see that Lien is in his house. Lien explains that he has fixed things around the house, and even erased the memories of anyone that might have seen them the day before. Wu is furious to see Lien there, but Lien explains that villains and their supervisors must be within 100 meters of each other at all times. Wu just wants to be left alone, but changes his attitude when Lien reveals that Wu's piggy bank is safe. Wu still wants Lien gone, but he must go to school for now. However, he runs into an invisible wall and realizes now that he really can't get away from Lien. Later, it is explained that 70% of the earth was polluted 100 years ago, and people in cities were forced to wear masks. Restrictions between nations were lifted and people began to migrate. Outside class, Lien is surprised to see how strict Wu's school is since he is being punished for being just 3 minutes late. Wu blames Lien for his tardiness as he had to beg him to go to school with him since they can't be more than 100 meters apart. Lien explains that he must have everyone forgive him for things to go back to normal, but Wu vows to get revenge when this is all over. Lien must disappoint him though, as he explains that supervisors erase villains' memories when they are done. Wu realizes just how sad that is though, as this means Lien will be forgotten by everyone. Lien mocks him for sympathizing, and explains that there are many other supervisors and he surely has more friends than Wu. At lunch, Wu finds the bullies from earlier to admit to cheating in the game, and apologizes. They easily accept his apology, and we see that Wu's other apologies go well too. A girl points out how strangely Wu is behaving, and Lien wonders if she has a crush on Wu. Wu tells him to shut up, but the girl thinks he was talking to her, and Lien explains that Wu is the only person that can see him. Wu begs Lien to be visible to everyone, but he declines, and this just makes him look even stranger. Wu explains to the girl that his behavior isn't strange, and he is just trying to improve his relationship with his classmates. Unfortunately, this is a huge lie that makes his hair grow, and he runs off stating that it's a magic trick. Later, Lien destroys some vile spawn and explains that these are weak since Wu has been behaving. The spawn get much more powerful though, and the ultimate ones look like humans that can control vile spawn of lower levels. Lien reveals that a supervisor at his level would surely die to one of them, but he explains that there aren't many ultimates, and chances are they'll never encounter one. Lien notices a wound he has, making him realize that the spawn are actually quite evil, but he can't understand what is happening. Elsewhere, a strange person is told that he can't enter an area, but makes the security guard pay and enters anyway. Elsewhere, Wu is elated to have found some change and explains that he is so stingy since he plans to do something that requires a lot of money. His goal is 1 million yuan, but Lien points out how that will be impossible to earn by just working a part-time job and deceiving his classmates. Wu vows to never give up as he wants to live near the platinum clock. That night, Lien looks at their list to find that he only needs to apologize to one more person, and they can do it the very next day. Lien then thinks about how Wu isn't really that evil, and wonders why the system defined him as a villain. Just then, Lien receives a message stating that an advanced vile spawn has invaded the inner city. It is of the ultimate level, and Faith City is put on maximum alert. All supervisors are instructed to drop their current tasks to head back to the headquarters, and any villains that haven't finished their corrections will just be considered failed tasks. Lien is horrified as he listens to all the other supervisors take the lives of their villains, and they beg for help as they thought that their supervisors were supposed to protect them. Lien prepares to do the same to Wu, but is surprised to see that his clothes have been fixed. Lien continues on with the orders as he reminds himself of the rules that he must follow, that include never sympathizing with villains. Supervisors are also taught that their lives are more valuable than a villain's life, and they should never risk their lives for one. Lien apologizes for what he is about to do, and we see a flashback to a time when Lien expressed his hate for humans. He lists all the reasons why and questions why he should protect them. A scientist told him that humans just lose their way sometimes, and Lien is supposed to help them and give them a second chance. We then see that Lian just wakes Wu up and demands that he get up to go apologize to the last person on his list. They head to the person's house, but Lian begins to leave and explains that once Wu's correction is done, the 100-meter restriction will be automatically lifted. Lian leaves and Wu begins his apology to Mr. Wen. Mr. Wen will only accept the apology if Wu writes a 5,000-word self-criticism essay, and Wu asks if he can just write it in his house. Elsewhere, Lian reaches the 100-meter barrier and points out that he won't survive if he encounters the ultimate. He thinks about how he can lift the barrier if he wanted, but it would mean he failed and Wu could die. A rule states that he shouldn't put a villain's life above his own, which would mean he should just leave. But Lian isn't too concerned since Face City is extremely big, and there's no chance he runs into the ultimate. Unfortunately for him, he is wrong as the ultimate appears behind him, and asks to make a snowman too. We then see that Wu has finished his essay, but Mr. Wen doesn't think it's sincere, and he has Wu rewrite it. Outside, the ultimate wonders if they have seen each other before. He doesn't remember his own name, but people call him Goeth. He continues to talk about random things, but Lian has had enough. Goeth becomes upset as no one wants to hang out with him, and he demonstrates his control over lower level Vile Spawn. Lian thinks about how he can escape when Wu finishes apologizing, and he just needs to stall till then. Lian doesn't think he has a chance at beating the ultimate, but summons his puppet anyway. The puppet can only last 15 minutes though, so he must end the fight quickly. Lian begins to destroy several of his collected spawn, and Goeth decides to summon his favorite toy named Quora. Back to Wu, the teacher is clearly just picking on Wu as he asks him to rewrite the essay over and over again. Wu finds out that Lian is in danger and realizes that Lian can't escape because of the 100-meter limit. Wu then begs for forgiveness, but Mr. Wen continues to refuse even though he sees how desperate Wu is. He explains that he lost a promotion because of him and his life is now ruined. He calls Wu a scumbag, so Wu just knocks him out. Back outside, Lian's puppet is defeated, and Lian's attack only results in his sword getting stuck. Goeth remembers that there is something interesting in every supervisor's chest, and Lian screams in pain as Goeth prepares to check. Wu arrives a short time after, and is horrified to see the condition Lian is in. The scene cuts to a time when police went to investigate a crime, and find that there was a massacre. Before they can report what happened, they are met by people in robes who say that they are from the Ministry of Supervision. These people brainwash the police and have them write a report stating that the massacre was actually just an accident. Back at the fight, Goeth tries to introduce himself to Wu, but Wu ignores him to check on Lian. Lian has a hole in his chest, but Goeth says not to worry since supervisors are just puppets made by humans. They run on something called the Sacred Seed that gives them their personality. While Lian looks like a human, he is really just a toy with a dead battery. Goeth gives the Sacred Seed back, but explains that it's highly corrosive, and he mocks Wu since humans are not able to pick it up. Wu won't be made fun of though as he grabs it. Goeth points out how interesting everyone he is meeting is since Lian slapped him when they first met, and Wu slaps him as well. Wu uses this moment to get away and comes up with a plan to use part of a Vile Spawn. Goeth thinks he has seen through Wu's plan but finds that he was tricked. He's shocked to see that Wu was hiding behind him as Wu gets away once again. Wu takes a moment to see how badly his hand is injured, but is short-lived as he is found again. He takes some damage but escapes, and we see Lian's consciousness can sense blood. This consciousness wonders what has happened and realizes that its restriction has been removed. Wu is then injured once more and Goeth goes in to take his brain, but is then shocked to see another human appear out of nowhere. Strangely, he doesn't recognize Lian at all, and continually asks him who he is. Lian then explains that normally, one supervisor just has one Sacred Seed. The only exception is when a supervisor is punished, the Sacred Seed will be replaced to blot out its personality. Fake Lian reveals that unfortunately, he once made a little mistake, so they replaced him with a new personality. Fake Lian actually thanks Goeth for freeing him, and asks him to team up since he knows Goeth wants to go to the Platinum Clock. Lian wants to get revenge there and explains that Goeth can take his life if he betrays him. Goeth is intrigued and wonders if Lian will try to stop him if he tries to kill Wu. Fake Lian explains that Wu is just a villain his replacement supervised, and he means nothing to him. Goeth feels sorry for Wu since he saw how hard he fought to save Lian, and hopes something interesting will happen. Fake Lian guarantees it as he takes Goeth's arm, and explains that he just lied. Fake Lian then skillfully takes out Goeth, but explains that the fight isn't over. Goeth returns furious as we see that the robed group is headed towards them. Goeth realizes that he has met Lian before, and Fake Lian explains that long ago he was the lie supervisor named Mayani. Goeth is shocked to hear this name and has a memory from his childhood. Goeth calls him a liar and demands that he tells him where the woman is. Fake Lien just ignores him and tells Wu to run for his life. The two battle for a moment, but Fake Lien takes Wu away as he notices that someone has come for Goeth. The robed group have come for him as Goeth remembers how he was betrayed for not performing well. The robed group then gets upset as their attack doesn't do anything to Goeth, and are surprised to see vile spawn be summoned when it shouldn't be possible while Goeth is in the enchantment. The robed men try to protect themselves as they notice that Goeth has gone into a cocoon so he can evolve. Just then, another ultimate appears to stop him from evolving, since it can be dangerous. She plans to take Goeth back to their master and apologizes to the group as she must eliminate them. Fake Lien and Wu make it to safety, but Fake Lien collapses and explains that he is just some residual mentality in the body. Without power, he won't last long. Wu wonders if Lien will come back, but he is told that Lien doesn't exist. He states that he just made him up, but Wu calls him out on the lie. While they both clearly like to risk their lives, Wu points out that he knows they aren't the same person. Fake Lien reveals that Lien is okay, and will return when the sacred seed is reinserted. Fake Lien explains that they won't see each other for some time, and gives Wu some final advice. He instructs Wu to never tell anyone that he met him since it will put Wu and Lien in great danger, and he leaves. Elsewhere, Goeth thanks the little siren for stopping his evolution, and explains that he hates when he loses his memory like he did. He takes his medicine and is glad to see that he has once again remembered everything. Elsewhere, a powerful man is told of the chaos that happened the other night. The man couldn't care less as he is just searching for one person, and is told that this person is in the picture, which pleases the man very much. Thanks for watching part 1, 3,000 likes and I'll know you want a part 2.